part of our partnership with the International School Studies Network, and as we work to develop global competence in our students, is providing the experience of international travel. We did work with one organization where staff members were able to go to Beijing and not only visit the city, but also visit schools.
Hi everyone, I'm Monica from Schola. Thank you so much for tuning in to today's Schola School Chat video. Before we get started, make sure to subscribe to our channel and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss out on any of our awesome school interviews. Ready to look at some schools? I know I am. Let's jump right into it.
Hi, I'm Ayla Lopez from Schola, and I'm here at Vista Charter Middle School with Principal Amaya. Thank you for having us here today.
Of course.
It's a beautiful campus, but would you mind kind of going into what your mission is here?
So at Vista, we always say that our mission is to transform the school experience. We do serve students from an underserved community, and I pride myself in the fact that they're not underserved here.
So you mentioned too that you go ahead and you do everything you can to contribute to the whole child, right? So, and I think you have those pillars there, right, that kind of contribute to that. So would you mind telling me about those pillars?
Yeah, so one, we start with a foundation of engagement. We really do our best to engage our students behaviorally and cognitively and socially. And then with that foundation of engagement, our three pillars are STEAM. So every student's education is grounded in a foundation of science, technology, engineering, math, and the arts. And then additionally, we do our best to develop global competence and have our students understand that they have a place in the world and that they have the ability to impact change at a global level. So we do have a partnership with the International School Studies Network. We follow their framework, and our outcomes are to have our students investigate the world, recognize perspectives, different from their own, communicate their ideas effectively, and take action. And we have taken on the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, and our students know that they have the ability to impact change by taking action to try to improve, these issues in the world, such as climate change and poverty and hunger and so on. And then we also understand that students can't do these, really big things if they don't feel safe, if they don't feel loved, if they don't feel accepted and like they're part of a community. So our other pillar is social emotional learning. We provide learning experiences for our students, but also opportunities for them to practice the social emotional learning competencies.
Right. Something I really love about your school too is that you mentioned earlier you guys have kind of keywords or anything like that if the students need a break and they kind of need a check-in and to kind of sit with their emotions and stuff like that. Can you kind of go into what that looks like here?
Yeah, so we understand the demographic that we have, and we understand that the trauma that comes serving a low-income population. So we do our best just to provide resources for the students to be able to feel safe. We do have a full-time school psychologist. We do have 3 on-site counselors, and students have different ways of just being able to get support with things that they're struggling with, whether it's personal problems, whether it's peer relations here at school. They have different avenues of getting that support. Sometimes it's just taking a break from class. Sometimes they need more targeted counseling, so we provide that service as well. Sometimes they need to work in groups. One of our signature practices is what we call Way of Counsel. So it's a circle practice where kids and staff come together and they share stories, and it's a way where we learn about each other and we hear ourselves and each other. In a circle there is no hierarchy, so the teacher is more of just a facilitator of the conversation.
That's awesome. That's really awesome, because then too it also builds that other personal relationship with the students, right? It's there's a saying to where it says no one cares how much you know until they know how much you care, and having those and implementing those kind of speaks to that. So I really admire that about this campus. Another thing too, in kind of expanding their horizons, you'd mentioned something really exciting that was going to happen before COVID, in traveling internationally. So can you kind of talk a little bit more about that partnership you have going?
Yeah, so part of our partnership with the International School Studies Network, and as we work to develop global competence in our students, is providing the experience of international travel. We did work with one organization where staff members were able to go to Beijing and not only visit the city, but also visit schools, see how schools operate, meet with students, and participate in some of the activities. We were planning on sending our first group of students to China in 2020. We couldn't because of the pandemic, but it's something that we're still aiming to do, that we're still gonna strive to do, and hopefully once this pandemic is over, we'll be able to make it happen.
Yeah, fingers crossed.
Yep.
Can you kind of go into maybe 2 or 3 things that really set you guys apart from other schools in the area?
I want to say the main thing is that we do strive here to develop global competence, and that we're really working with our students to develop those skills of investigating the world and then taking action, and understanding that the work that they do and the service that they do in their community has a larger impact, and it has a global impact as well. So that's a major one. And then I think another one is just our family feel. Everyone describes this as a very prevalent family culture, and whether it's amongst the staff, whether it's amongst the students, and even amongst the parents. So I think that being part of a family, one, it means that you're a part of a group, that you're loved and accepted and cared for. But as with all families, there's also challenges that families face. There's family dynamics, and our role is to provide supports for our students when they're facing those challenges. Things like suspension and expulsion, they don't solve problems. They just make it go away, or they just move it to another time and space. Here, we really tackle student behaviors. We give them the supports and the tools that they need to be successful and to struggle, and to hopefully come out of it successfully.
Right, yeah. And something I've noticed too is that you guys really do a good job of building relationships and partnering with families and students to kind of feed into that whole child aspect of it. So can you kind of speak to what you guys do in getting all these systems involved in these students, with these students?
Yeah, so I want to say the relationships are at the core of what we do. Our students are people, our teachers are people, our families are people, and building strong relationships is what drives everything that we do, and it's also what keeps you in the front lines. So teachers here, they work really hard every day to make sure that students feel like they're part of a community, whether it's a small team, whether it's a classroom community, whether it's a whole grade level. We just work really hard to foster and cultivate those. We do implement cooperative learning structures that our teachers are trained in, so that they could create those experiences for students of talking with each other in a respectful way, of turn taking, of communicating in using academic language, and some of these experiences are academic, but a lot of them are also just fun, and they're also getting to know you experiences and coming together. And again, as I had mentioned earlier, through way of counsel, hearing each other and speaking, listening from the heart and speaking from the heart. Those are the intentions of counsel. So we work really hard to create these for our students as a staff. We also sharing these experiences ourselves. All of our meetings begin with team builders, because as a team, as a school, as a staff, we need to come together and work together as a team. And then we also have a lot of these for our parents. So we offer parent educational workshops. We have a monthly coffee with the principal where parents get updates, and they can come to school when there's no COVID, or we meet virtually when there is. But they can share feedback, share their opinions, awesome. Know what's going on, and participate in our school. We do have civic engagement opportunities for our families as well, where they're able to go out into the community, and as a Vista parent group, make change and impact change as well. They actually helped us get 2 speed bumps in front of the school because awesome. The traffic can be tough sometimes. Right. And we really strive to make those connections and really support relationship building.
That's awesome. Can you kind of speak to more of like the learning model and kind of what the structure in the classroom looks like?
Yeah, so, I think everybody has been in a classroom where they have been lectured to for, a period of time. And I think we all know that that's not effective. Here at Vista, our mission is to support every student and meet them where they're at, and then help them progress forward. So student learning is individualized, and it's individual to the needs of that student. We are very data driven, and we use that data on a very regular basis to identify where students are at, what they know, and then what they don't know. And then teachers will create very specific plans in order to support getting students to where they need to be. We do use the workshop model in our classrooms, and again, that's a 10 to 12 minute short lesson about the objective of the day. And then after that, it's go and work. And that's where students will work independently or in small groups. They'll work on skills that they need to target. And then the teacher will work with students individually or in small groups to help them, get to where they need to be. Students also look at their own data, and they also reflect on their progress. So they participate in their learning, and they participate in setting their goals and looking at where they want to go. And as of the last time that we tested, because it's been a couple of years, we are outperforming all the local schools in the area. So, our model has really worked, and it's really supported student learning and student achievement.
Right, that's really awesome. That's really cool. Speaking of testing, a little bit switching gears here though, you guys have had an amazing way to keep your students safe here. Can you kind of speak to like the COVID numbers here and what that's looked like with you guys and how often you do testing?
Yeah, so, our number one goal is in-person instruction. Our model is meant for in-person instruction, and we also know that that's how students do better. Right. We're very proud of the resources and the programs that we offer, and they need to be here. So coming into the school year, we put very strict protocols in place to support remaining in person. That included full vaccination of staff, so every single staff member is fully vaccinated and now boosted. We had a number of campaigns for student vaccines that they're not mandatory, but we also ended up with a large number of students being vaccinated, so they took their own responsibility in keeping their community safe. Everyone is required to wear a mask and socially distance. They do space out in some of the classrooms, at a distance enough to keep each other safe. Mask wearing is mandatory both indoors and outdoors. Even when the county says it's okay to take your mask off outdoors, it's still mandatory here. And then we have had a closed campus for a little bit. We're starting to ease on that now because the numbers are going down, but we usually only have visitors before school and after school to keep students safe. So we're very fortunate, and we're seeing the results. Our positivity rate here has been, lower than the county and the district, and now it's at 0.
That's awesome.
So we're very happy to have like a 0 positivity streak.
Right, congratulations. So as folks are driving around, how can they identify you guys geographically, and how can they find you?
So we're in what's called historic Filipino town. We're about 3 miles west of downtown LA. And we're on a very busy street, Temple, 2900 West Temple is our address, right in the heart of Los Angeles.
Gotcha. Okay, perfect. And then if folks want to learn more about you guys, look at information on you, what's your website that they can look at?
They can go to www.vistacharterms.org, and there's a lot of information there.
Awesome, perfect. And if you're also interested in looking at more information about Vista Charter, you're more than welcome to go to Schola.com as well and look at their parent-facing profile. Thank you so much, Principal Amaya.
Thank you.
Hey everyone, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed today's Schola School Chat video, make sure to give it a big thumbs up. If you would like to watch more of our awesome videos, make sure to click here. And to stay up to date with all the awesome videos we post and subscribe to our channel, make sure to click here. See you on the next one.